I genuinely cannot believe that they made Drew McIntyre the WWE champion after 3 stages of hell with Cody Rhodes. Drew McIntyre is our new WWE champion. This main event that they had, I guess you'd call all 3 stages the main event, was absolutely booked perfectly. It was crazy. It was perfect. I believe the first stage, which was just a regular wrestling match. Actually, I want to say first off, when they first announced it and they said what the 3 matches were going to be, I was just kind of like, I guess, sure. Regular match, falls count anywhere, steel cage, sure, whatever. But after the way everything was executed was so good, I can't believe it. I'm going to review all of SmackDown, but I want to just get this out of the way because I'm pretty sure this is what everybody cares about. This is what everyone's talking about right now. Drew McIntyre is the new WWE champion. He won the first match as the wrestling match. The regular wrestling match, I should say, only lasted, I think they said 6 minutes or something like that because of a low blow Claymore pin. Then we went on to the Falls Count Anywhere, where it was kind of this back and forth a little bit until Cody finally took over, hit him with a crossroads through the announce table. 1, 2, 3. It's now 1-1. The steel cage comes down. We have an even better back and forth inside of the steel cage. That is until the return of Jacob Fatu, and the only way Drew McIntyre could win was by somebody else getting screwed over. That was probably a horrible accent. But it just feels like for an entire year and a half, Drew McIntyre has just been getting screwed over after screwed over after screwed over. And if you go back to 2020 where he won at Mania, he was still kind of screwed over because sure, he became WWE champion, but no one was there. Sure, yeah, they had the screens and monitors and stuff, but there was nobody there to cheer or boo for him in this scenario. And I just love that it took somebody else getting screwed over finally for Drew to win, because all he talks about is getting screwed over. I get screwed over, I get screwed over, and get screwed over. And then Jacob Fatu comes in and screws over Cody. I can't wait for SmackDown next week because I'm kind of hoping Cody comes out and is like, well, I was screwed over. And I mean, I know that's not what we're going to get. We're going to get like Noble Cody, and he's going to be like, well, I'm coming after you, Jacob, and after you, I'm going back after Drew McIntyre for the WWE Championship. I hope we don't get that, Cody. I really hope we don't get that, Cody. But not only was Cody screwed out of it, like, Drew just crawled out of the cage. He had nothing left. He was probably going to lose if Jacob Fatu did not interfere. But because of that interference, and because Cody had to be so, I guess, noble in the moment and try and beat up Jacob so that way he can defeat Drew, quote-unquote, fairly, Drew just gets to crawl out because Jacob just started attacking Cody. And then next week on SmackDown, they announced they're going to have a tournament-style match to declare who's going to be the number 1 contender. So there's going to be 4 matches on SmackDown. The winner of those 4 matches, so it's going to be 4 people, will be in a fatal 4-way match at Saturday night's main event. Whoever wins that will go on to the Royal Rumble to face Drew McIntyre for the WWE Championship. So this week's SmackDown was great. I can't wait to watch next week's SmackDown because I want to see what Drew's going to do. I want to see what Cody's going to do. I want to see what Jacob's going to do. I want to see all 4 of these matches to see who's going to go on to that fatal 4-way match. Whatever they did this week in the writing room or coming up with ideas for this week, just keep replicating that because this was an insanely good SmackDown. And now that we got all of that over with, let's start off at the top of the show with Randy Orton being interrupted by SmackDown's newest superstar. I'm going to go ahead and call him a superstar, Trick Williams. They have a nice exchange back and forth, and Trick Williams really held his own against Randy Orton. And I really can see if they want to, if WWE wants to, they can send Trick Williams to the moon. They can. He could be WWE champion within the next 6 months. I can honestly see it. I can see it. After this exchange, though, Randy hits Trick to the outside of the ring. For some reason, The Miz comes out and starts wanting to beat up Randy Orton. And that leads into him getting RKO'd, which then leads us into Trick Williams versus Rey Fenix. And I really loved how this whole opening segment happened. It was Randy Orton came out. Then Trick Williams, they had their thing. Trick Williams gets thrown out. The Miz comes in, gets RKO'd. Randy Orton starts walking out. And as he's walking out, Rey Fenix makes his entrance. And Randy tells Rey to beat the crap out of Trick Williams. There was never a missed beat during this entire opening thing. Of course, during Trick and Rey's match, there was commercial breaks and everything, which kind of broke up everything. But I understand. I get that. This whole opening thing was awesome. Trick versus Rey was a fantastic match. I don't like him winning to a roll-up because I kind of want his wins to be more definitive if we're going to make him a big star. But I get it. He's a heel. He's doing heelish tactics. I'm along for the ride. So unfortunately, I think that we're going to get Damian versus Drew again, this time for the WWE Championship, which is why I think this whole Damian Priest versus Aleister Black feud has been going on for so long. Damian needed his final win over Aleister to make him a viable competitor for Drew McIntyre for the WWE Championship. I'm kind of hoping that's not the match we're going to get at the Royal Rumble, even though they did have a decent match at WrestleMania. Please, WWE, I don't want Damian versus Drew. Just please give me somebody. Give me Ilya. Give me, who else is in the tournament? Give me Randy Orton. Give me Solo Sikoa. I'll take Solo Sikoa over Damian Priest at this point. But this was also earlier in the night before the main event where Drew showed that he had Cody's dad's watch, and I don't know how he got it. Drew just seems to be able to get people's personal family heirlooms for some reason. You got Cody's picture, you got his watch, you got CM Punk's bracelet. How does this man get this stuff? He is like Super Stalker 9000. Next, we get the Women's United States Championship match with Giulia facing Alexa Bliss. I think this was a decent match, except there was way too much interference in this entire match. Didn't need any of it. Honestly, they could have just had a good, nice one-on-one match, but I get it. They want to keep perpetuating that feud of Alexa Bliss and Charlotte Flair versus Nia Jax and Lash Legend. So I somewhat get it. But it kind of just makes Giulia look weak. And I don't know about you guys, but I want my champions to look strong whether they're heel or face. So once somebody finally beats them, it's like, wow, they actually beat him, instead of just like, oh, transitional champion. Kind of like Giulia was for Chelsea Green and Chelsea Green was for Giulia. But hopefully we'll get better writing for the Women's United States Championship moving forward. Then we get this long backstage segment that kind of just moves all over the place. You have Jordynn Grace officially signed to SmackDown. Then she gets to talking with Chelsea Green, and her and Alba Fyre now have a match tonight. Then that moves on to Kit Wilson wanting to talk to Nick Aldis. And can I just say, I love Kit Wilson's character. I hope they don't just drop him off into the abyss of characters that get left behind by WWE. I really like this toxic masculinity character. I think it's hilarious. I do really think he's doing great work. Please don't drop this man off. Put him in the mid-card scene. Put him against Carmelo Hayes for his United States Championship. Make him go for the open challenge. I think that'd be pretty cool. Even if he winds up losing, just give him some more airtime, WWE. I'd really appreciate that. After that, it moves on to Matt Cardona and Cody Rhodes talking, kind of giving him a pep talk. Nothing really too special here. I think it's just two buds trying to show each other that they're friends, but they also don't mind going after one another if need be. You know, if there's a title involved. I'm not going to talk too much about the Wyatt Six and MFTs because I do think what they did here was pretty good. They weren't really given too much time. I want to say the amount of time it took for them to make both their entrances and the match itself was the same amount of time. So, given the amount of time they were given, they did do a lot, and I think they did everything well. Everything was executed well, and I do think the MFTs winning here is the right call. I want to see, because the Wyatt Six holding the tag team titles has kind of put the tag team division on a stranglehold when just, 4 or 5 months ago, we had a fantastic tag team division on SmackDown. But now we're more of the likes of Raw, and I don't like that. So maybe it's time to move the titles somewhere else. Speaking of the Wyatts, I have an idea for them. And I'm pretty sure it's been brought up before, but with Alexa Bliss and the Wyatt Six all being on SmackDown, wouldn't it make more sense? And I get she's with Charlotte, they're a tag team and everything, but maybe once they fall apart, wouldn't it make sense for Alexa Bliss to join the Wyatt Six? And I guess they wouldn't be 6 of them anymore, it'd be the Wyatt 7. But whatever. But you could have Nikki Cross and Alexa Bliss join in the tag division. That would bring another, and let's say they won the tag titles, the women's tag titles. That would bring another quote-unquote mid-card title reign to the Wyatt 7, I guess, at this point. And then they would boost them up a little bit. They'd give them more power of, like, now they could have control over the women's division, control over the men's division, this, that, and the other, instead of just having a stranglehold of the men's tag team division and not doing anything with it. That's my little rant of the Wyatt Six. So Jordynn Grace and Alba Fyre then happens next, and it definitely was a match. It was a squash match, and I get it. They want Jordynn Grace to seem insanely powerful, insanely strong. I completely get it. After the match, as Jordynn Grace is walking back towards the back, Jade Cargill comes out and basically says, if you want some, come get some. I don't know if I want to see this match, to be honest. I think Jade Cargill is a great champion, and I haven't seen enough of Jordynn Grace in matches to know if these two would gel well together. I do know for a fact Jade Cargill needs to work with a ring general to be good. It's like the same way that like AJ Styles could wrestle a broomstick and have a 5-star match. Jade Cargill, unfortunately, is kind of the broomstick in this situation, and she needs her AJ Styles to put on a good match. Like her and Naomi, the match they put on at WrestleMania, fantastic. Naomi was her ring general and was able to make her look great, work towards her strengths while also bringing out her own strengths. I don't know if Jordynn Grace can do that. I hope so, because I think this is going to be our match going into the Royal Rumble or at Royal Rumble for the women's title on SmackDown. And then we finally get to the reason we've been watching SmackDown for the past few months at this point. Once again, maybe 4 or 5 months. It is the Men's United States Open Challenge champion Carmelo Hayes versus Shinsuke Nakamura. Okay. I'll take it. I wasn't expecting Shinsuke, but I'll definitely take Shinsuke. So I'm going to be completely honest here. This match was not the barn burner that was Carmelo Hayes versus Ilya Dragunov. This was still a great match. Not in the same caliber, like I said, it's not the same. Still a great match. And I still can't wait for next week for the United States Open Challenge. I'm hoping next week will be like Kit Wilson. I'm really hoping it'll be. I don't think it will be. Maybe like Axiom, Nathan Frazier, maybe Johnny Gargano again. I hope it's not one of them. I really, really hope it's Kit Wilson. This was, once again, another great match. And I feel like this match didn't need to be a barn burner because of our main event. They knew Shinsuke could go out there, put on a great match with Carmelo, show both of their strengths. Shinsuke's more hard-hitting style. He kind of even showed more of like a submission style, maybe because of his older age and everything. But they still did enough fast-paced movement and high-flying to show off Carmelo's skill set. Fantastic match. Overall, this SmackDown was better than SmackDown's been in months. This was like a whole different breed of SmackDown, and I hope we get more of this in 2026. I need SmackDown to push the limit a little bit. I need it to be on the same level as Raw. And I honestly believe this SmackDown was better than a lot of Raws we've had for the past few months. I'm going to give this a 4 out of 5. I think this was really good. There's always room for improvement, but the pacing they had, it felt like even though we started with an opening like promo, monologue, whatever you want to call it, we still had a match with what felt like in the first 10 minutes, which usually doesn't happen. We usually open with like a 30-minute promo that nobody wants. But we had a match. We had backstage segments. We had promos. We had match. The pacing was so good, especially in the opening. I want to emphasize that opening pacing was so good. Anyways, fantastic SmackDown. I can't wait for next week. Hopefully this is a nice ride that we can at least keep until Mania. I'm hoping we can keep it till Mania. And if we're lucky, if we are so lucky, we can keep it past Mania. Because it seems once we get past Mania, that's when things start to taper off. I hope that doesn't happen. But at least till WrestleMania. Fantastic SmackDown. 4 out of 5 stars. I'll try and come up with some kind of different rating system, but that's what I got off the top of my head. Thank you all for watching, and I'll see you again next time.